Thanks very much. You're joining us here at the Sandton Convention Centre. We're attending the Black Industrialists and Exporters Conference, which has been convened by the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition. There are many people who are going to be gathered here, Black Industrialists. We have been seeing on our Twitter communications that some people say that this is a racist event because it's excluding other races. Speaking to the Finance Minister of Kemera, he did say that that's not the case. In actual fact, he says this is the promotion of a particular policy that stems from the disadvantages that black people experience due to apartheid and colonialism and all of that. So it's really trying to help black people catch up with themselves because of the ownership patterns that we see currently in South Africa, where the small minority of about 8% of white people still have massive economic power, and it's really seeking to try and redress that balance. So he says that everyone is welcome to events like this, to support programs like this because of the aim that they're trying to achieve. Now, of course, many people are here, including entrepreneurs, black industrialists, some 600 or over 600 black industrialists set to come here. Also, we're going to have exhibitions of some of the factories and the products that are being produced by black-owned South African businesses. I'm joined in our makeshift studio, by Fundiswa Skwewiya Gushu. She's an entrepreneur from Nobantu Investment Group, and she's just here to tell us a little bit about herself. Thank you so much for joining us, Sis Fundiswa. Just tell us about the kind of business that you're in and why it was so important for you to attend this function.
I'm in the communications business, and we do encounter some challenges as women, especially as black women. And mainly in my business is based on storytelling and telling the stories of the country. When you're looking at the policies and some of the interventions from government, they always speaking of stories of South Africa. But in terms of support, it lacks. We have challenges. It's difficult for us to gain entry and be main players in these main industries, and actually to export some of the work that we're doing to some of the countries,
So how do some of those challenges manifest themselves as you do your work in the area of communications?
In the area of communication, some of the challenges it's an issue of finance. We have challenges in terms of finance. For instance, our businesses are seen as risks by the main, you talk of commercial banks, you talk of finance institutions in terms of finance development institutions from government. We're seen as a risk. In a way, we struggle to get infrastructure for us to be competitive in the industry. And those are the challenges that we have that are not resolved by some of the interventions, including the black industrialist approach.
Yeah. So how have you circumvented some of the challenges? I mean, obviously, you're still in play, you're doing the job and so on and so forth. Do you partner with other people? What's the way forward?
For me, mainly now, I rely on my other skills in terms of ensuring that I consult, because my background comes from a space of campaigning, especially government campaigning. So I finance some of my projects, especially film projects. I finance them myself. They're self-financed because I take some of the work that I do and get to fund those. Because in terms of gaining funding, I need to have gained so much experience. So I'm trying to build experience and try to, gain entry into the industry. So
you're giving us a lot of flavor around the challenges. What do you think of initiatives like this Black Industrial initiative, and are you hoping that you'll be able to benefit from it?
What I'm hoping to benefit is that in terms of engagements of this nature, we're able to share insights in terms of our challenges directly with the policymakers. Because the problems that we have is that the Black Industrialist initiative is that it sort of supports the businesses that are already privileged. Because if you talk about the DTI financing, it's dealing with a business that has to supplement some finance from financial institutions. And you must understand that to be able to attract financing, you must qualify, And some of us, we don't, because we do not have the traditional collateral for us to qualify for those finances. So what's the point of financing businesses that would be financed anyway.
Yeah.
Because if DTI is giving them 10% and they have to raise funds to gain the other 90%, what's the point? Because they were going to qualify. Why not focus on people like us, in terms of ensuring that from ideation, you're able to provide support so that we move forward.
Well, you put those questions to the policymakers, no doubt. Thank you very much, Sis Fundiswa, for speaking to us. Fundiswa Skweyiya Gushu, she's an entrepreneur and she's from the Nobantu Investment Group. We're going to take a quick break.